The Chthonian Nightmare is a rare enchantment card from Modern Horizons 3, a set in the Magic, the Gathering universe that explores new mechanics and expands the game's strategic possibilities. This card embodies a unique combination of cost efficiency, resource management, and tactical decision-making. Defined by its low mana cost of just 1 black mana and a mana value of 2, Chthonian Nightmare provides players with 3 energy counters upon entering the battlefield. These counters become a crucial resource for activating the card's ability, which allows a player to pay X energy, sacrifice a creature, and return the enchantment to its owner's hand in order to resurrect a creature card with mana value X from the graveyard to the battlefield. Importantly, this ability can only be activated as a sorcery, which implies strategic timing during a player's turn. The significance of Chthonian Nightmare in the context of Modern Horizons 3 lies in its versatility and potential for combo synergies. By harnessing energy counters, a resource introduced in the Kaladesh block, this enchantment merges old mechanics with new setups, enriching deck-building possibilities. Players can revitalize powerful creature cards that were previously eliminated, thereby maintaining board presence and momentum, key aspects in Magic, the Gathering gameplay. 2 practical examples illustrate this point. First, in a deck focused on sacrificing creatures for powerful effects, Chthonian Nightmare not only facilitates these strategies, but also mitigates the loss by bringing back pivotal creatures. Second, in an energy-based deck, this card offers an efficient way to recycle creatures and maximize the value of energy counters. Opinions among players often highlight the enchantment's potential for creating unexpected game states, enhancing its appeal among strategists who enjoy complex gameplay and unpredictable outcomes. Some, however, critique its reliance on energy, deeming it too niche and less supported by specific deck types, which could limit its broader applicability. Challenges include the card's dependency on energy counters, a mechanic not universally supported across all sets, and the risk involved with its sacrifice requirement. Alternatively, players might prefer direct reanimation spells that bypass energy costs altogether, presenting a differing viewpoint on efficiency. In sum, Chthonian Nightmare exemplifies how specific cards influence gameplay strategies, encouraging a holistic approach to deck construction and resource management. While it enhances synergies within certain decks, it challenges players to think creatively about how to integrate it effectively into their broader game plan. This dynamic underlines the enchantment's role in the evolving tapestry of Modern Horizons 3 and Magic, the Gathering as a whole. Understanding the mana cost and card value of the Chthonian Nightmare is integral to mastering its use effectively within the game. The mana cost of this enchantment, denoted as 1 black mana, indicates that a player must expend 1 black mana in addition to any other colored or colorless mana requirements specified on cards within their deck to bring it into play. The mana value, which in this case is 2, serves as a measure of the card's overall power and potential impact within gameplay, factoring in both its cost and its effects. The significance of understanding both the mana cost and value lies in strategic deck building and game strategy. Utilizing cards with a low mana cost but high potential effect, like the Chthonian Nightmare, can be a game changer, especially when combined with other cards that enhance its effects or mitigate its costs. Such cards allow players to maximize their resources, offering potent effects without depleting their mana reserves too quickly. For instance, in a game situation where resources are limited, deploying the Chthonian Nightmare efficiently by balancing its energy demands with available resources could lead to a significant advantage. Another example is leveraging the Chthonian Nightmare's unique ability to return a creature card from the graveyard by carefully sacrificing less consequential creatures to bring back those with higher strategic importance. The card's versatility can evoke varying opinions among players. Some praise it as a tactical asset for late-game scenarios, offering a pathway to reclaim valuable creatures from the graveyard. Others might critique its dependency on energy and sacrifice, suggesting it might not fit every deck strategy. This leads to potential challenges and controversies. The need to balance energy accumulation with the inevitable creature sacrifice can be a double-edged sword, potentially thinning one's own defenses. Moreover, the timing restriction, being limited to activation as a sorcery, can limit its functionality in fast-paced or reactive gameplay. Alternative views may argue for prioritizing cards with more immediate benefits. Ultimately, comprehension of the mana cost and card value of Chthonian Nightmare contributes to a deeper understanding of the broader strategies encompassing resource management and tactical decisiveness in Modern Horizons 3. This intricate interplay influences other aspects of gameplay, as players must continuously adapt their strategies, weighing the potential gains against inherent risks presented by this rare enchantment card. The mechanics of energy counters in gameplay are a crucial aspect of utilizing the Chthonian Nightmare card effectively. Energy counters are a unique resource in Magic, the Gathering, first introduced in the Kaladesh block. They function as a separate currency from mana, allowing players to pay for specific abilities and effects as seen on certain cards. In the context of the Chthonian Nightmare, when this enchantment enters the battlefield, it grants the player 3 energy counters. These counters can then be expended to pay for abilities on the card, in this case, enabling the player to return a creature card from their graveyard to the battlefield by paying X energy, sacrificing a creature, and returning the enchantment to hand. The importance of energy counters in the context of the Chthonian Nightmare lies in their role as a strategic resource that can be leveraged for powerful effects. By carefully managing these counters, players can pull key creature cards from the graveyard back into play, essentially recycling valuable assets. This ability to recur creatures can provide a significant edge in gameplay, especially in longer matches where maintaining board presence is critical. For example, a player might use the energy counters to bring back a critical creature card like Noxious Gear Hulk to remove a threat from the opponent's board while gaining life in the process. Another instance might involve resurrecting a Whirler Virtuoso to create Thopter tokens, using the additional energy generation to overwhelm the opponent with flying creatures. Opinions on energy mechanics often highlight the strategic depth and additional layer they provide to gameplay. Many players appreciate the flexibility and creativity in deck building that energy counters offer. However, some critics argue that energy mechanics can create complex game states and contribute to prolonged turns, potentially disrupting the flow of the game. Challenges related to the mechanic often involve its perceived complexity and potential imbalance, particularly if a card generating energy disproportionately affects the game. There's also a debate about its thematic relevance in a fantasy setting. The concept of energy counters and their application through the Chthonian Nightmare ties back to the broader strategy of resource management in Magic, the Gathering. Understanding how to efficiently generate and use alternative resources like energy can influence a player's approach to deck construction and in-game tactics, highlighting the intricate balance of risk and reward that defines the game's enduring appeal. Strategies for using Sacrifice for Revival revolve around the innovative manipulation of resources in the Chthonian Nightmare card. At its core, this concept involves strategic decision-making, where players utilize the ability to sacrifice a creature in order to pay X energy and retrieve a creature card with mana value X from the graveyard. This capability transforms Chthonian Nightmare into a potent tool for resource optimization and strategic advantage during the game. This mechanism is significant because it balances the cost of sacrificing a creature with the potential benefit of retrieving potentially stronger or more strategically valuable creatures from the graveyard, effectively turning the tables in gameplay. In practical terms, one example involves using creatures with valuable enter the battlefield abilities, or those that offer significant benefits upon dying. For instance, sacrificing a beneficial creature like a Solemn Simulacrum not only nets you the ability to return a more valuable creature from your graveyard, but also gains you an additional card draw, enhancing your game's momentum. Another example is the use of creatures with the Undying or Persist mechanic. By exploiting these abilities, you can create a loop of continuous creature returns, maximizing board presence, while repeatedly reviving game-changing creatures. Opinion-wise, many players find strategies like these highly satisfying due to the complexity and depth it adds to deck building and gameplay. Control players in particular likely appreciate the ability to turn losses into gains. However, this strategy also presents challenges, particularly in terms of resource management. Players must balance their board presence against the strategic need to bring back key creatures without depleting their own frontline defense. Critics might argue that reliance on graveyard retrieval strategies makes a deck susceptible to graveyard hate cards, which could significantly disrupt this plan. As such, players need to adapt by incorporating protective measures or alternate win conditions to guard against these interruptions. In connection with the main topic, the Sacrifice for Revival strategy enhances the overall versatility and utility of the Chthonian Nightmare card. It interacts dynamically with other card interactions, forming a symbiotic relationship that can be adapted based on the stage of the game or specific challenges being faced. This enriches the strategic depth of Modern Horizons 3 gameplay, allowing players to craft unique experiences and demonstrate personalized tactical acumen.